and welcome back to Anime-chan, where today we'll be talking about Attack on Titan Season 3, Episode 7, and I would really be screaming right now. I'm screaming on the inside because I've already finished watching the episode, and I can't wait for you to just see my reaction highlights and freak out with me again, because this was a brilliant episode. Let me just put it at that. I want to dedicate this video to LT Norm, aka Bjorn. Thank you so much for being a patron and for hanging out with me in streams and watching anime with me and for chatting with me via DMs. I just really am grateful for the friends I've made through anime, and I'm just so thankful that you support me in so many ways. I promise, as always, to keep working hard to put out better and better content for you guys. Without further ado, let's jump into episode 7 of Attack on Titan Season 3.
待たせて悪かった。フリーダの記憶はまだ生きている。お前は姉さんに会いたいか?
Oh, they want to extract.
母さんの仇はお前が撃つんだ。
Bombs, smoke screens. Oh fuck.
そしてあの燃え方、油の入った袋が飛散している。深淵だ。
Wow, I was right! Bombs and smoke stuff!
的が絞れない。複数で一人ずつ囲め。
Go, Sasha!
対人立体起動装置の弱点の一つは、三段の車線とアンカーの射出装置が同じ方向を向いていることにある。
He doesn't want to kill people, I know. No! See, that's... Just don't kill Connie!
そうさ、何よりの弱点は2発撃たせてしまえば次の装填まで時間がかかること。ここまで接近されたら
Please get to Aaron in time! Please get to Aaron in time! Whoa!
これでは全滅する。
No! He's pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie. What did he want to do? What? Why did they shoot that? Why though? Why? Why? She's okay, she's okay, she's okay, she's tough, she's tough!
今から約100年前、ある巨人の力で作られた。あの三重の壁もその巨人の力だ。そしてその巨人の力は人々の心にまで影響を与え、記憶を改ざんした。
Touch their hearts.
ただ一人、フリーダ・レイスを除いては。フリーダが持っていたものは巨人の力だけではない。今から8年前のこの場所で彼女の叔父にあたる私の弟を食べた時からだ。何代にもわたり繰り返されてきた。
お父さん。
彼の父親が奪ったりする。
Oh, I'm sure.
その力はエレンの中にある。彼がその器であり続ける限り、この地獄は続くのだ。
What? There was hell before he stole her power. Why are you making it sound like everything is his fault?
じゃあ俺が巨人になってエレンを食っても意味ねえとかよ。何を言うの？まったく俺の気持ちに気づいておきながら散々利用してくれたもんだな。この色男がよ。もう分かっただろ。この親父はおめえを化け物に変えてエレンを食わせようとしてんだとよ。
それが私の使命でしょ。
Jesus, that's all it takes. You don't even ask any questions.
私はエレンを食って姉さんを取り返す。この世から巨人を駆逐する。
Because they were doing so well last time.
使命よ。
おいおい、弟や娘になすりつけるようなクズ。それがおめえの父親だ。
お父さん。
ケニー、今までよくやってくれた。ケニー、何をするつもりだ？巨人になればいい。お互いが巨人になって殺し合う。ヒストリアが勝てば平和が訪れる。エレンに負ければ寿命が尽きるまで生きしてるって。それが生きていると言えるのか？この銃だなら強力な巨人になれる。こうと言っても正確には背骨を噛み砕き、脊髄液を体内に入れればよいのだ。急げ、ヒストリア。
No, that face doesn't look like the face of someone who wants to save humanity to me. But I might be wrong.
やるんだ、ヒストリア。いらなかったんだよ。すべて何とかしてくれるはずだったんだろう。親父が巨人の力をあるべきところから盗んだせいで、とても俺は
But did
生きれない。いらなかったんだよ。俺はいらなかったんだ。だからせめてお前の手で終わらせてくれ。俺を食って。
he's acting like it's his fault that all those people died. But people have been dying because there were titans in the world. Why are there titans in the first place?
私のことを普通のやつだって言ってくれて嬉しかったよ。いいことしようとしてるだろ。
I'm missing me.
液を体内に押し込むだけでいいんだぞ。
You are a creep. You look like a creep to me.
どうしてレイスケは100年もの間巨人を駆逐して人類を解放してあげなかったの？生きながら。
それはこの壁の世界を作った初代レイス、それこそが真の平和だと信じている。なぜかはわからない。弟と共に人類を巨人から解放することを願い、しかしそれが叶うことはなかった。やがて父がその役目を託す時が来た。その意味を理解した。この世界を作り、この世の断りを司る。それを何と呼ぶかわかるか？神だ。我々はそれを神と呼ぶ祈りをする。
Excuse me? I'm gonna have to read this again, I'm sorry. He would not fulfill our wish. It became time for him to pass on the role, so far from father to son. But he had two sons. Why did didn't he say it's his auto? Didn't he say it's his younger brother? Why did the younger brother inherit it? If I'm wrong, then ignore the question. The power of Titan looked. When my brother inherited the power of the Titans, and I looked into his eyes, I understood what that meant. What meant? What is that? That is what it meant to inherit the power of the Titans. Is to become God. Is to be what my brother became. He became God. So you didn't eliminate the Titans because you wanted to be God?
神は人類を導いてくれると
お前の生き方に口出しする権利は私にはない。だからこれは
This is disgusting what this dad is doing. I don't know, I'm getting a really creepy vibe.
胸張って生きろよ。
You fucking awful human being!
何が神だ。都合のいい逃げ道作って、もうこれ以上私を殺してたまるか。
やめろ。俺がこのまま生きてたらみんなが困るんだ。早く俺を食ってくれ。
うるさいバカ。泣き虫、黙れ。
You tell him!
よく駆逐するって誰がそんな面倒なことやるもんか。むしろ人類なんて嫌いだ。巨人に滅ぼされたらいいんだ。そんで全部ぶっ壊してやる。
This guy's... I'm not sure what's going on. I'm just really rooting for his story right now.
僕が
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. You son of a bitch, that's how you end it? I'm not even sure I know what the fuck's going on, but I don't know. Oh my god. To me it sounds like he wants to use his Titan powers to be God, like omnipotent, like God, in the same way that people have been using religion for years to control our beliefs and what we think is good and bad. And like, sure, it makes sense to have, you know how you can trick kids into being good if you tell them if you do bad things, Santa won't bring you any presents at the end of the year. So they create this idea of Santa to control kids and make them good. And maybe, okay, so they'll clean their room because that means Santa's seeing them be good. So that means they'll, you know, do good things and then be good at the end of the year for presents. But it's fake. Do you really want good? Is that how the only way we can teach people to be good is through a fake God? That's what I'm understanding. I don't know if I'm right. I have been wrong many times before. I don't always understand I don't always get things, but that's the idea that I'm getting. He's saying by talking about being God, they want to trick humanity into being good and keeping peace through them acting as God. That's bullshit. I don't want my kids to be good because they're scared Santa's not gonna... I don't want kids, but hypothetically, I don't want my kids to be good because they think, oh, if I make my bed and I don't punch anyone, Santa will bring me presents at the end of the year. I want my kids to be good because it's right to fucking be good. It's right to, well, you don't have to make your fucking bed, but you don't punch people for no reason or pull their hair and I don't know, whatever bad things. You don't trick people into being good. That is a flawed foundation, and that is a lie, and lying is wrong. So you're teaching your kids to be good by being by lying, which is essentially a bad thing. That's what I understand anyway, and if that's right, it's fucking brilliant. I don't even want to do a fucking review. I just want to put this up on YouTube and be like, I'm not guessing anymore. I'm just waiting until I can watch the next episode, because when am I watching the next episode? When am I watching it? I'm probably going to do it Thursday, and then I think I'm gonna swap One Piece to Friday, and then so it's gonna be 8 on Thursday and 9 on Saturday. I can't do a review. What am I gonna say? I don't know. I don't know even if I'm agreeing with the right thing, but this is my what I understand of it. I fucking yes, Historia. She's so cool. And I love that she called Eren a crybaby. Fuck yeah. I feel so validated. Remember in that one episode where I told him man up? I don't even remember if I said those exact words. I just told him, like, grow up for a second. Think about this, bitch. And she said the same thing. She said, Baka. Yes, I feel so validated. Like, you can feel that about someone. Like, yeah, sure, it's hard. Knowing what you know is hard. But fucking Historia had the shittest life as well. I mean, at least Erin had a nice childhood. Historia fucking got punched by her mother. She saw her mom also get killed in front of her. She also saw at least some of the memories. Like, just man up a little. But I love Erin. Like, I love him so much. Like, he's my favorite. Well, he used to be my favorite character, but Historia's creeping up on that list now. No, I'm joking. He is still my favorite. I love him. But I just have this feeling. I don't care about this 100 years. Like, why didn't they disturb me? Why? If they could have the power to control the Titans, why? Because Erin's crying about, oh, it's my fault. Everyone's hurting. It's because of me. But fuck, even before you were anything, there was 100 years of Titans being, like, pushing you in between the walls. It wasn't your fault. Kenny and them are probably on the same side. They don't even realize it right now. They're killing each other out there. They're on the same fucking side. They want to just fucking flip the power. Coup d'etat. Kenny, can you just talk to Levi for a second and tell him you're on the same side, kind of, in a way? I don't know if they are, but to me it seems like they are. Hello, and welcome to the review portion of the video, where today I honestly, for real, I'm not going to be talking too much. Like I said at the end of the episode, after I watched it, I took a little break after watching to just make myself some tea and just let it absorb. So I didn't jump into the review part right after watching the episode, but like I said, I don't have too much to say. I honestly just want to watch the next episode. Sadly, I do not have time for that. I have a video to edit and I'm going to be live streaming soon. So I can't watch another episode until about next week, Thursday. The video would then be up by Friday. So yeah, where to start? It started off more or less with the fights between the scouts. They're not really the scouts anymore, but you know, our team, our home team. I rooted for them because even though we don't really know, like, there's no right and wrong here. There's only what we know and what we don't know, and we don't really know about what we know about what we do think we know, and it's so yeah. What I'm saying is, I support them because I support Erwin, and even though in past episodes they've said about how Erwin doesn't care about people, he just cares about the truth and I think caring about the truth is a prerequisite of caring about people. You want to tell people the truth. People deserve to know the truth. So I support Erwin, thereby I support the scouts. That's why I was rooting for them. But by the end of the episode, I realized, well, technically, if these people are supporting Kenny and Kenny's dream, part of Kenny's dream was to take power away from the Rice family, which is sort of on the same side as the scouts. So they were really fighting for no real reason. At least that's what it looks like to me. Not that they weren't fighting for a reason. Like, obviously they had many reasons, but technically they were kind of on the same side. Scouts wanted to save Erin. Kenny and his people didn't want the king to give the power to Historia. They wanted to take the power. Erin still is the power. Now they have this big responsibility because Historia didn't want to follow her dad's plan, whatever his plan was. I already said what I think his plan was. He wants to be God. He wants to control people. He wants to keep the peace, and his idea of the peace is by being God and judging people and judging the worth of their lives and who gets to stay and who gets to go and da 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 da. But and Historia also, she slapped his hand away. She was like, And those beautiful scenes where she thought about Ymir and what Ymir told her. God, I want her and Ymir to end up together. It must happen. Okay, well, technically Ymir is like 60 years older than her, but it doesn't count because her body didn't age. She wasn't even in her right mind at the time. So does it really count? I don't think so. No. And in any way, how old is Historia? And yes, I'm drinking tea with a straw because I have lipstick on and I don't want to filthy the cup. How old is Historia? If she's 16 to 18, she can at least choose who she wants to be in a relationship with, whether they've lived for longer than 60 years or not. It doesn't matter because she didn't even know. What am I talking about? This wasn't the point. My point is, Historia is amazing. They now have the, like, yes, they can fuck this up too. They have this power to control the Titans now. They can fuck it up. We don't know what they're gonna do. But my point is, whatever Historia's dad was doing and their family was doing for 100 years didn't seem okay to me. Yes, they had relative peace inside the walls. But the question still stands. Would you rather want kind of peace but be lied to for your whole life, or would you want possible peace? Like, the thing is, they didn't even have real peace. There was still shit going on in the walls. There were still people arguing and people stealing, and poverty. It was still a shit place to live for most of the people. But there was relative peace, you know? People survived. That's not a reason to lie to people and control them and play at God. No. But the point that I'm saying, and that Erwin and them, like, they make it sound like Erwin cares more about the truth even at the expense of humanity. And I guess if you look at how he chose to plan that thing in the Wolsina, it was like in Wolsina, right? So yeah, he planned knowing that people would die, but he still did it because there was no other way to find the truth. And the thing is, like, I understand why it was easier for him to say, like, let's do it, let's find the truth here in Wolsina, because the people of Wolsina, like, oh, the royal families with the royal bloodline and looking at all the other people like slaves, like, you take a hit for a change. These people have been living in poverty for 100 years, I don't know, whatever. We've been going out killing Titans looking for answers when you've been hiding the answers for all this time. I'm not saying it's right, but I kind of understand sacrificing a couple of rich people to find the truth that they've been hiding from you for all these years. You know, I know probably a few kids died who it wasn't their fault, but my point is, when you, for years and years and years, you build a foundation on that lies and deceit, your whole country is built on that, then eventually when someone wants to start making things right, it's inevitable that innocent will die because you've been sacrificing justice for your own personal gain for all this time. And you can say, oh, it's because of peace. Bullshit. That wasn't peace. It was a farce. But yeah, I'm talking a lot again, even though I said I won't. I always try, but okay. Final thoughts. I wish Kenny had talked to Levi. They should have been on the same page. Even though, can't really, because Kenny and the king, they had this agreement, but the king knew he was using Kenny, but Kenny didn't know Kenny was being used, but Kenny couldn't admit to anyone because then the king would find out, but he didn't know the king knew. Okay, but he was played. And then Hansh got hurt. I don't think she's dead. She's really tough. Maybe she, you know, like when Erwin lost his arm or his hand or something, maybe she got hurt really bad, but I think she'll be okay. I hope so. Historia was fucking amazing. There were some moments when I had a bit of doubts, but she retained her autonomous thought. She thought for herself, and a lot of that was thanks to Emir, which made her think, you know, she wasn't tricked by her father's fancy words and, oh, do you want to see your sister again? Like, bullshit, she can't see her sister again. Her sister's dead. A part of her memory may remain in a weird way, but the memory isn't her sister. Her sister might have been fooled by 100 years of tradition and what the family expected of her to do, but Historia wasn't fooled. And part of that is thanks to her upbringing. Her father clearly didn't care for her until she was his only choice. Oh, but fuck, now he's a giant titan. Eren, you better fucking man up again and fight that bitch. I remember in I don't remember the episode exactly what it was called, Warrior, the episode from season 2 or something. Wait, it's getting a little bit hot. Let me just. Okay, sorry. It's really cold outside, so I put this on like 25, but now it's really hot. And now I'm like, no, let's put it back down on 23. Okay, so what was I saying? In the episode called Warrior, I remember in that moment me freaking out like Historia did in this episode. She was like, fucking, this is not the time to cry. Get up, go. She's taking control of the situation. She's choosing for herself. She's making the best decision I think she could have made in that situation. And she told Eren, "You idiot, stop being a crybaby." And that's what I did in that episode in Warrior. I was like, fight now, cry later. These are the people that fucking broke down the wall and killed thousands of people, and because of them, they were pushed into the next wall, and then there wasn't enough food, and then a lot of them had to sacrifice their lives, and da-da-da. And now I understand it a little bit better. Like, those people also probably wanted to do a coup d'etat, whatever, and overthrow whatever fucking power is happening inside the walls. You know, the Rice family and whatever messed up scheme they had. It's like Annie said. Remember, Annie said she just wants people to be seen as people. I think it was in season 1. And now I understand it better, because remember when Zachary was torturing that guy and he said, "You're just a slave and you'll always be just a slave." Da, 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 da. So the people in power inside the walls, those royal blood families, the race family, they see other people as pawns. They're not people, and their lives aren't worth as much as mine. I'm in control. I'm God. They are under my control. I created this world for them. Fucking bullshit. And I understand, like, now it makes sense to me. Possibly wherever Reiner and them came from, they just wanted to, I don't know, they just wanted to overthrow whatever was going on inside. But I don't know how, I understand in a way, like, there was no other way to get, there was another way, there had to be another way. Why did you have to break the wall and kill, and let in Titans and kill thousands of innocent people? When the people in Wall Rose that died, and the people who was pushed from Wall Rose into Wall Maria, and then half of them had to sacrifice their lives, they all died because of that day. And I just feel like I understand that a little bit less than I understand what Erwin did inside Wall Sina, because I already explained. I understand it just a little bit less, because it's like those people were truly innocent. But like I said, like, they're innocent people will get hurt when evil people do evil things. Because then to right their wrongs, like I said, you can't build a just society on unjust principles, because then things will just go to shit. And they did. They went to shit. And I wonder, I don't know. I realized that, what was I saying? What was this all about? I realized that Reiner and them, they're not evil, but I still feel like Eren I still allow myself the feelings that I felt during Warrior. With what I knew at the time, I allow myself to feel that. Of course you're mad at them. These people were the reason so many people got killed, and like it's hard to imagine or to think like if they're trying to do what Erwin did and now succeeded in the coup d'état. If they were just trying to do that, I still understand them wanting to do it, but the means is still, at least you can be mad at how they chose to do it, you know? So I allow myself those feelings. I don't regret telling Eren back then, like, fucking man up, dude, man up, time to fight, time to whatever. Because I still think, because they tried to do it again. And they could have, I just feel like there's a better way. Like, they could have talked to Hanj or Levi or Erwin. Shared some information. I don't know. Find someone to trust but they were kids. But they were kids who killed hundreds of thousands of people. Hundreds of thousands? I don't know. Probably not. I don't think that many people live inside the walls. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, at 15 years old, if you can decide to do that, you can decide to talk and to maybe work with people on the inside. I don't know. But what if they talk to the wrong person? It's difficult. I'm not saying I'm blaming Reiner and them. I'm just saying, like I said, I understand my emotions during that episode. I understand my emotions during this episode. I felt exactly like Historia again, like, Eren, stop it. You, like, yes, is difficult to accept, and yes, you can be depressed later, but right now, there's no time, you know? And that's why I really applaud and commend Historia's, you know, that attitude she had when what she did. But at the same time, now that I'm not in that moment and I'm thinking, and I took a little break to let everything sink in, and I think, like, I can understand how overwhelming it must be for a person who got injected with 100 years worth of memories and people's, I don't know if it was everyone's memories, but I mean, it had Frida's memories. Like, imagine having to physically take on another person's thoughts and feelings, and especially the fact that Frida probably believed in her father, believed in what they were doing, was tricked to believe in it. So Eren took on some of those beliefs and those feelings and everything that she must have felt. So I understand, I can understand Eren's feelings and depression in that moment. It can be crippling. But at the same time, I really love Historia for her actions and her everything. Fuck, it was such a great moment when she slapped. I kept hoping, don't let him do it, don't let him do it. And then, damn, they really did a really good job of conveying that man's creepiness. Like, it wasn't obvious, but it was there. Like, you could, I felt like, and Historia is like almost being tricked by him, but then, like, I mean, imagine being told your whole life by your mother and like I wish I never had you, and then your father coming for you, but then you having to be pushed aside and living your whole life thinking like, I wish I was never born, and then for a moment you think your dad cares about you and but he doesn't care about her. He cares about using her to remain God. So good. So they did a really good job about everything in this episode. Some of the things I was like, ooh, that looks a bit iffy, but I didn't let it bother me too much. I was too much swept away by the story. At some parts, Eren's mouth looked a bit weird to me. But I'm not gonna let that bother me too much. I really, they did do a good job of expressing the grief. Like, I feel like his heart and his soul must have been so weighed down, like crushed, absolutely crushed at that point. Oh, but it's so beautiful that Historia saw a little bit of herself in him, and that's why she knew what he needed in that moment. She knew someone to like slap him with a bit of reality, to just get him out of that thing, for just enough to get him out of there and, you know, make the situation better for them, because right now it's looking very grim. But then yeah, sure, if he's out and he's safe, take the time, be depressed, come to terms with what are you going to do now, what could have, should have happened in your life. But then at some point you have to realize, okay, I've taken the time to grieve and everything, but now I need to start thinking not what could have been, what should have been, what they should have done, then you do the best that you can from where you are with what you've been given. That, like, we are always, not just we, but the previous generation and the previous generation, we're always going to be stuck with what the mess that the previous generation left for us, and it makes it more difficult and more, because then we make messy decisions and leave that to the next generation, and it's like a big snowball effect. And that's why we have to try our best to do the best with what we have, so that what we leave for the next generation isn't a little bit more difficult to deal with, but a little bit easier, you know? Whew. Brilliant anime, brilliant. I really hope that I understood correctly what Historia's dad, this whole God thing, and like, I really hope I understood that right. For me, it sounds like this whole Santa Claus thing, where you make your kids believe in Santa Claus so that you can control their behavior. And even though you tell yourself like it's for the better, because I'm teaching my kids to be good, you're teaching them based on a lie. You're manipulating them, and that is not going to make good people. You know, that's truly what I think. There's another way to teach people how to be good, because I don't know about when kids are born, they're tiny, like when they hug, for example, a little kitty, if they're 2 years old, they could kill it because they don't understand like a lot of stuff, like and sometimes babies, like I remember a little boy, he got a new little sister, and then his parents brought the sister home and was like, oh, you're new, and then he slapped her, and that's not right. But I don't know if kids are born with an innate ability to know what is moral and what is not, and what is right and wrong and just and unjust. I don't think, maybe it gets developed over time. Maybe there is a natural thing in us that will develop as we grow older, in the same way that, you know how animals have instincts and stuff. But what if parents fuck that up because they go like, hey, do you know Santa? He's gonna bring you presents if you're good. And then you teach your child how to be good based off of lies. Like that's not how you're gonna make a good person. And then it just perpetuates. Because now that child learns how to lie too, and think lying is a bit my brain is breaking. There has to be a right way to teach kids how to be good, and maybe even they'll develop their own goodness if we don't fuck it up, you know? I don't know how human biology and stuff works, and it's hard to even find out, because it's also kind of weird to experiment on kids, and you can just study kids and how they grow up in a school, but you don't know what's going on at home. You can have a kid yourself and see how they grow up, and you try and do it right, but you can't just do it right the first time, and you can't just have another kid just try again, and it's really hard. That's why it's just, like I said, we can only do the best with what we have, with what we've been given. And that's why writing is so important. Stories are so important to teach the next generation, like, this is how we fucked up. Don't do the same thing. Okay, thank you guys for watching with me. And once again, my review is longer than I planned it to be, but I had a lot of fun. Once again, thank you to ViktheOne for sponsoring this video. I'll see you guys in the next episode. I'll be watching it on Thursday. The full reaction will be up on Patreon that Thursday evening, but my reaction highlights and review will only be up on about the Friday evening, because that's about the time when I get to edit and upload. Okay, Thank you guys so much for watching with me. I'll see you next time. Bye!